Fine. So we have a problem in explicit intent. We want to understand that 3.0 explicit intent, this one, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. Right. So what do we have here?
So इसमें like it doesn't have the launcher activity. अच्छा, that was in the main activity. Launcher वाले code में.
Okay, so we are going in the main activity and we have launcher activity here, start activity
Yes,
for
sir.
result, right?
Yes, sir.
So
This
when to use this launcher and when to use the normal start activity?
launcher is when you
So
want
first,
a value back, right?
yes, when we expect something in return from the second activity. So right now inside our main activity, we have a launcher activity, launcher for activity result, and we are expecting something in return, correct? We are expecting something
Yes,
in
sir.
return from the second activity. If I don't expect anything in return, what can I do? I can simply say start activity here. I can simply say
Right.
start
Context or
activity.
start
Ah,
activity.
correct. Start
Okay.
activity. And I will pass the intent object. Now, because I don't have any reference here of the current activity, I need to create a context. The context I have here, I can say context.start activity. So now this will give me the reference of the current activity. So now this start activity method will simply launch the second activity. So
Okay,
from
sir.
this context, we are going to this screen. From this main activity, we are going to second activity. And like this, you can pass your data. This is for one-way communication. Your main activity communicated some data, which is the first name, to the second activity. That's it. Now, the main activity is not expecting anything in return. Main activity is there. And on top of that, we are launching second activity. That's it. Second activity will receive the data, first name. So this is your second activity. This is receiving first name as the where it is receiving here. First name, intent.getStringExtra, first name. This will be the message,
Yes, sir. So,
right?
one thing I didn't get in this was that in the second activity only, where you have written so can you go to the
That
second
result,
act? Yes.
this part.
Yes. So here you have written just above the button, there is text equals to message question mark colon no message. So can you just tell what happens? Like what's that? ये just above the button on click के ऊपर.
Here.
Yeah, where there's text equals to message question mark colon. No, not up,
Right.
not on this. The above this
So here,
button. Yeah,
this
here.
part.
Yes, this
So,
part.
okay, very good question. Now, in intent, this key I am receiving, I am looking for this key, first name. Now, this second activity can be launched by any other activity. If I have multiple activities, multiple screens in my app, any screen can launch second activity, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just like writing this code. Now, it is possible that this activity, new activity, for example, third activity calling second activity, or home screen, dashboard screen calling second activity, may not pass first name input data, correct?
Right, right.
There is possibility. So
Yes.
in Android, when you are receiving this message, this part will not be always there. This first name, key and value may or may not be there. So this will always return a nullable string. If you see here,
Oh, okay.
if you
So
see
that
here,
is why
uh,
we are using the question mark so that
correct.
if
Now
there
you
is
can see
no
the data
message.
type for the
Okay.
message is nullable string.
Hmm.
This string
Right.
can be null. So if the string is null, what to do? If this text value is null, we don't want to print our null here in the text. If the message is not null, print message value. If it is null, print this value. And what you can do rather this, if you say string, the data type I am asking something must be there. So I will get error. Initializer type mismatch. Expected string, but actually I passed string nullable. This will return a nullable string. So what I need to do, I need to pass something like this. If the value for first name is there, okay, fine, keep it in the message variable. Otherwise, keep it empty. So now here you don't need to do that. You can press Alt Enter and remove Elvis operator. And now you can simply pass the message. So both ways. Now what the Kotlin is expecting you to do, Kotlin is asking that this thing can be null. So use it safely. You can use Elvis operator.
Okay.
Understood? You can use double exclamatory mark as well. So here you are saying that you promise that this value is not null and the app will not crash.
So
Understood?
if we
This
use
is for
Elvis,
declaring not null.
One by one,
yeah,
one by
I
one.
do not.
Yes,
yeah.
Sherry.
I do not understand the point of the double exclamation.
Okay, so double exclamatory part is where you have initialized something and you are making sure you are taking the responsibility and you are telling Kotlin compiler that I promise this value is not null. Please allow it as it is when you don't have a default value to give.
Okay.
Understood? So
All
there will be
right. Yes.
scenarios when initializing the objects, you might have to use it. So they are giving you the option, but this can cause null pointer exception in your code. So this is only you have to actually use it. So this is actually not recommended, but there will be scenarios where you have to use this double exclamatory mark. Understood?
So, double exclamatory mark we use so that the null values are not taken in
Huh.
consideration. Is that why we use it?
No, no.
So,
Null
like,
value can be taken into consideration, but
so your voice got
hello,
interrupted. Yes,
audible
sir.
now?
Now you're audible. Yes, yes.
So with exclamatory mark, this is the safety operator where we are saying if this value, I promise this value will always be there, this value will not be null. So you please consider it. Now,
Okay.
Kotlin can consider it and Kotlin can print null as well. So this is same like Java. We are rolling back where
Hmm.
this value we are just promising that this is not null.
Okay. And what if it is null, then what will happen?
If it is null, then app will crash
Okay. Matlab, if
because
any
this
other
intent.
activity,
Huh,
if any other
correct. So it
activity
is
is
always
calling
better. It
this,
is always better. Huh? It is always better to use this of Elvis operator rather than using the safety and promise. And you provide a default value, whether it can be empty or it can be zero in case of default. And in case of object, you can create an empty object.
okay. So
So it's
Elvis
always
operator
better to go
takes in
for Elvis operator.
consideration. Okay, okay.
It will
So
do a null check basically. It will do a null check. In if you decompile this code, Kotlin code to Java, it will tell you that it is using a if statement and executing this part of code internally and checking whether the value is not null. And then only it is returning it. Otherwise, it is returning empty. So if we go to the
okay,
Java code, it will do the if else statement internally and provide
okay,
one of the value.
okay. So sir, this get
And
string
here,
extra, um, okay.
uh,
It's
get
just
string
used
extra.
for two-way. It's used for two-way communication, or is this a part of one-way
No, no,
communication?
no, 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 no. This is get string extra. This is one-way communication. We have received it. One-way communication completed. We have
Okay,
successfully received the message first name.
okay,
Here, one-way communication is completed. Two-way
okay.
communication is when the
Sender.
second activity want to send some data back to the first activity. So we have set result
Okay,
and finish. Finish will simply
okay,
discard the activity from the stack. So this is the second activity. Second activity will be removed. So we will back to the first activity, right? So in your web browser, when you click on a link, so you go from first page to second page. You press the back button, you go back to the first page, correct? So that is in the memory.
yes,
The location is in the memory. Something similar. Now,
okay,
here we don't call activity reference or stack or context, right? We are directly able to call set result because right now we are inside the second activity. Second activity is open up here and it is closed here. We don't have a composable function here. If we create a composable function in this set content and we are calling the set content and preview function, then we cannot call directly set result and finish. Then we have to use local activity current. Understood?
So this composable function and set result part I didn't get. Why we can't call it in composable function?
So what should happen when the button is clicked, send back button is clicked? When the send back button is clicked, we are creating a intent, empty intent. And in this intent, I'm passing my last name, what user has entered in the last name. And I'm setting this result. Result is okay. And I'm passing the intent object. This contains only last name.
Okay.
This result, this
Okay.
data is being communicated with the main activity, because main activity is acting something in return. So that's why we have launcher here. So when we want to get data from second activity, we want to get it like this. We have activity result contract, we have start activity for result, and we will get activity result. So if the result code is okay, if result code can be cancelled, result code could be anything. So if result code is okay, I want to know what data the second activity is going to pass. So last name is the key. I will check. If it is last name, then give it to me. Well, return data. Here we have result, activity result, and inside the result we have data, which is intent, nullable intent. So we are checking this block of code should execute when the value is not null.
Okay,
And then
sir.
get string extra.
So like if we didn't use set result over there, then this block of code where we have put activity.result, okay, would
Correct.
it be executed?
Will never be called. Yeah, will never be called in case of back button. So we saw the example when I press the back button rather than pressing the send back button. If we press
Okay.
the back button from the emulator, this will go back to the main activity. Second activity will be simply removed from the stack memory and it will go back to the main activity. And this launcher block of code will never execute.
Okay. And what if this was a one-way communication? Then this whole launcher block will not, like, we'll not put
Not
this
be
into
needed.
code.
Not
We'll
be
only do
needed.
start activity.
Correct.
Only context.start
Now
activity, and we put the
instead
value.
of this launcher, correct.
Okay.
Put data, and in the second activity, you will simply receive data something like this.
In second activity, so only this val message will be written, this block of code, and
Yes.
the button on click where we have done set result finish, that will not be executed. This will not be there for one-way communication.
Correct.
And sir, there
One-way
was
communication.
one more thing that I had a doubt in. Either when we have declared val intent, we haven't passed in action and data inside the intent, right? It's empty intent.
Correct.
Yeah, so like in main activity, when we declared intent, we passed in action and data over there. But in second activity, we have kept it empty. Why is that?
Because this activity is not going to launch anything. This activity is not going to
Okay.
launch a new activity, which is main activity. What
Okay.
we want to set result. We will set the launcher one.
Okay. So
Still back
like
for that activity. So the result code is okay, and then our intent.
mm,
So when we press activity, okay,
okay, sir.
result is set.
Yes.
Now, if you don't call finish, you will still be able to see the main second activity. Because we did not call finish method, we will still see the second activity. We have sent the data, but we cannot see it. So what we
Right.
want to do, we want to set result back to the main activity. So this launcher block of code will execute. This block of code will execute when you call set result. So now this start activity for result is handling. It also have a receiver or observer that is observing that whenever second activity returns something, it will simply execute this block of code. Now we are writing it this way. We are not writing it the same way because this is creating a contract to listen to the data that is sent by the second activity. Understood? So we are creating a contract between the main activity and the second activity, and we are listening. So as soon as the second activity sends some data back, we will execute this block of code.
Right.
Understood?
Yes, sir. So
We
this
cannot do it any
launcher.
other way. This is
Okay.
the most
Okay.
secure way, and we cannot do it any other way.
Hmm.
Previously, we used to do it traditionally, we used to do it differently, and it was causing
Okay.
some issue. It was causing some security risk, and the vulnerability is now corrected so that it cannot be exploited.
Okay.
We have to use it this way. Previously, it
Okay.
was very easy. We had to just simply override a new method on activity result. Activity result, capital. So if I go outside main activity, minimize this. Now if I just press Control O and I type on activity result, this one you can see this block
Yes,
of code
sir.
will execute.
So this
So
was an alternative for what did this do?
this was
This is
traditionally used.
overriding. Yeah.
Acha,
This
this
was
is
traditionally
overall.
used. Now
Hmm.
in this block of code, you will get the result.
Okay.
What we are
But
doing inside the launcher.
hmm.
Where is the launcher? Yeah.
But this is not used anymore. We
That
use
is not used
launcher.
anymore. We have to use
Okay.
this.
Okay.
So rather
And
than using
so
context.startActivity, you can say startActivity for result, start
hmm.
activity for result. Now this method is restricted and it is removed. Now if I want to check where this method was defined initially, so component activity is this method contains start activity for result. This method contains component activity contains start activity for result from activity compact. Activity compact start activity result activity.
Okay.
So now I just need to check the context part. Local context. It does not contains local context. It should be local activity and current. Now I can call start activity for result. Now it is giving me some error. What is the error? Start activity for result required you to pass request code, comma. I'll just say 100. Anything you can pass. Context can be null. I'll just say if it is not null, then execute this part. Now this will behave the same way, but there is no special contract. We can call start activity for result when we are expecting something in return, and we have to handle it here in the on activity result override. Now here you will get activity result code, request code, result code, intent data. The data contains the real data. So if result code is okay, you will check. If result code is equal to activity dot result activity dot result. Okay. Same block of code what you have done inside the launcher. So I think I can simply copy this part. This part. If result is okay, then we are getting data from the results. Now this result I don't need because I already have the data part directly. So
They're
this
both
data.
for when we're expecting something in return.
So this
But
is the traditional way of doing it.
yeah.
So this you don't need to know. I'm just telling you, okay,
And
this is
the
also
result
we can
part,
do
we
it.
just run it
Uh,
directly under launcher.
this we do when we are dealing with XML. If our designing is in XML, this is how we can do it. But it is recommended because this method, remember launcher for activity result, is created for the compose. So we are writing our UI in compose, so we better go with this approach rather than the old traditional one.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
the block, this is the contract, activity for result, same thing. Here also we are doing start activity for result. Here also we are doing start activity for result. the result will get a result code should be okay, and the result data, which is the intent, and in the intent we will check simply for the last name. So this is your two-way communication. Two-way communication start with set result, empty intent. You are passing the data inside the intent and passing the intent inside the set result with result code okay, and finish. So this is your starting of two-way communication. And here you are going to complete your two-way communication. As soon as you connected with the result part, what you are expecting and how you are going to handle the data once you receive it. So what you are doing, you're simply passing it to the returned value, which is a state function, state variable. So the state variable will simply update the UI whenever there is a change in the data.
Okay, and then this return value will be printed in text format on the main screen.
Correct, correct. Because this return value we are using here.
Okay.
Last.
And
It will print first name and space last name.
Okay. And sir, like, so if we want to send data to another screen, we would put extra, and if we want to, like, get data, then we use get string extra, right?
Correct. If you
And
want to send data in the main activity, what we are using putExtra.
putExtra.
First name and value, key and value.
Okay.
And if we want to set result, putExtra, last name, key and value. And then intent we need to pass inside the set result.
Okay, and
Now
in
receiving part, the
putExtra.
receiving part is intent. Intent object, we have not created intent object. This is the default intent object that is present inside the onCreate method. Okay. Inside the activity, we have the intent
Yes.
object. If you control
Right.
click on the intent, this intent object is defined inside the activity. Right? Get intent.
Yes.
Kotlin, we don't use getter and setter. We directly deal with the object or variable. So if you control click here in this intent, I can also say get intent. So get intent. Okay. So get intent, set intent you can use. For getter and setter, you can directly use the intent object.
So sir, why did we create a different
Intent.
object in
Why we
like below?
create?
Why did we
Why we
create a
create?
different object of intent? Like we created val intent beneath, right? We created
Correct. Correct.
that.
Correct.
So instead of that, can't we use this object already if it's pre-declared, like already declared?
So this what this intent indicates. This intent indicates that the activity is created with that intent. Now we want to set our result in a new intent. We are creating a new intent object, and in that we are passing our data. We can, if we try to create with the existing intent first, what I can do if I just remove this line. Okay, now this is the intent, this is the putExtra, and I'm passing the same intent back to the intent who created this activity. Second activity,
Yes.
I'm using that same intent, putExtra,
Yes.
and setting the result back.
Right.
Now, if you run the app, you'll find out what will happen. Close all the tabs. So this should also work. What do you think? Will it work or not? Because we are passing the data, we are receiving the data. Launcher we are not using to receive, so I'll just replace this part with launcher. Now launcher is not null, so this will be changed with launch. Request option is not needed. I'll remove the intent. Now what do you think? Will it work? Because logically our code is fine.
Yes, logically. So
Get intent, we can simply, if I press Alt Enter, it is asking me to use property syntax rather than something like this, rather than getter method. In Kotlin, we don't use getter and setter method. We directly deal with the property directly. So there is no part of encapsulation. I'll run the app again because we added launcher after the run.
It is working, right?
Send data. Fahim is received. Now send back. Okay.
Yes.
So this is
Yes,
still
it's working.
working,
Yes.
but this
Yes.
intent is received through the creation of this activity. It's still there.
Mm.
Now we want to create our new intent so that it has only this data, not the other one. Now, if you go back, you can actually in this intent, you previously said first name, right? The same
Right.
intent you passed to the second activity. Here
Yes.
you can actually get the data from the first as well. So if you say val, I'll just press Control D, val, first data, first name, something like this, keys in and capital. First name. Now the first data should contain the first name. So rather than first name, I'll simply say first data.
So what difference will this make? Like, why did we
It should
add
not make
first
any
data?
difference. So
Okay.
what we are doing when we click on, when we write Fahim and when I click send button, what will happen? I'm going to create this intent,
Yeah,
right?
right.
This intent is
Right.
going to launch a second activity.
Hmm.
And this intent we are going to use inside the second activity to receive this first name.
Okay.
Okay. Here we have the same intent who launched the
Hmm.
second activity. The same intent we use to receive the first name. And the same
Okay.
intent we are going to use to send the last name back to the main activity.
Okay. Okay.
So now
Okay.
this
Okay,
intent
understand.
object has first name as well as last name, correct?
Okay. Right.
The same
Right.
intent we are setting in the result and the same intent is being reused
Hmm.
in this
Further.
launcher. So
Okay.
this must have our last name, even though we
Hmm.
are not setting the first name here, but this intent object already has some previous
Right.
records. The same
Yes.
record should work. So I say send
Okay.
data, he is received, send back. Now,
So, sir, just a doubt before we
mhm,
proceed. In second activity, the intent that we had declared with val message was the one that we had created in main activity. It
correct,
wasn't a
exactly,
predefined one.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
I thought it
It is
was
the launcher
predefined.
one. No, no,
Okay.
not
Okay.
predefined. Predefined
Okay.
it is kind of predefined, but
Hmm.
the second activity, who launched the second activity? This intent. This
This intent.
intent has the
Okay.
data first name. So when we
Okay.
go in the second activity
Hmm.
and we have this intent, this is the same
This is
intent
our
what we
first
used.
activity. Okay.
Exactly. This is the
And
same intent what we used in the
okay.
main activity. So this
And
get
when we
intent will always refer to that
Okay. And like when we were creating val intent equals to an empty intent
empty
here,
intent. Correct.
that was
Correct.
a new intent that we were
Correct.
creating.
Exactly. That is the
Okay.
new intent.
And
So we
sir,
don't want to
like
use.
in yes, yes.
Go, go.
So like in putExtra, we have
Mhm.
this key value pair, right? But
Correct.
if you could just scroll upwards towards the get string method,
Yes.
get string, yeah. Here
Uh,
we have only passed the
get
key.
extra.
There's no value.
Correct.
There's no
We
value.
don't we just because we don't know what is the value. So the get string
Okay.
extra will return you the key value based on the key. So if you say last
Mhm.
name, it will return you last name.
So this returns as the so if like I type Fushi as the first name, will
Correct.
this return me Fushi or will this return me the key like first name? What will it
So
return? The value that I have put in first name or just first name?
in this is our key and this is the
Right,
value. It
right,
doesn't matter. This is a variable actually. Correct.
right,
So and this
right.
variable is being set inside the edit
Inside
text
main screen.
text
Right,
field.
right.
This text field, whatever you write, it
Yes.
doesn't matter whether you write Fahim, Kushi, whatever. Okay.
Hmm.
So if you say Kushi, and you press send data.
Yes.
So now Khushi is the first name. First name is our variable.
Okay.
Variable contains Khushi as the value. So this is the key. This key, against this key, whatever user has entered, that's it. Whatever user has entered should go against this key. Now, if I want to get the data what user has entered in the second activity, this is my second activity.
Right.
I want to know what user has entered. So for this, I will simply call intent.getStringExtra first name. I don't know what user has entered. Please tell me what user has entered in the and store it in the message variable. This message variable I will simply use to display what user has entered. So this is the part.
So sir, instead of creating a different variable called message, can't we just directly call it in text only, like text equals to get string extra, intent dot get string extra? We
We
can.
can do it. We can do it because intent object we have inside the activity, and right now we are inside the activity. So we'll say intent dot get string extra, and we can pass our first name as the key. Okay. Now, what is the error? This requires a string. What we passed, a nullable string. So now I promise the value is not null, or I can use Elvis operator. If this is null, then do empty or say no message.
Okay.
Anything else,
So
whatever you.
this Elvis operator is kind of like ternary operator that we use in
Ternary, correct.
Right. Like if it is null, then print this, otherwise
It's
it's
the
print
same
this.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
And if we remove the message line from here, it will work the same.
Huh.
If we like remove this block of code, so that will
Now,
work
why
the
we are
same.
using this? Why we are creating the variable? Why we are not using directly intent? So this is just a structure way, like whatever we received in the on create, as soon as we want to receive, so we'll just create a message or create a variables and store it in there, so that we don't have to do null check in the and make our code lengthy. So now the UI looks cluttered because the text is doing something this with if else. Now my UI looks cluttered. My UI should look and it should be described. So like for example, if the UI is supposed to display first name, that's the first name. In the message variable, I'll simply declare first name. So this is the initialization part of the first name, and this is how I'm using it.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir. And so one more thing, there was this when I was searching this up on online, there was this method like how we have done intent dot put extra. They were using intent and then the action and dot apply, and then they were doing this put extra.
Okay, understood.
So, sir, what is that?
So that is the apply method. That Kotlin has 4 different methods: apply, also, run, and with. So those 4 functions basically deals with the intent and make our code more shorter. So for example, now in this case we have val intent equals to intent, something like this. Basic new intent.
So can we create this in the main activity? Because here though we are using the intent of main activity only.
Here?
Here, yeah, it's already there now. So they were doing this, yeah.
Correct. So now we have created the intent object. Now I don't want to pass the intent object multiple times. What we are doing, if I want to pass 10 parameters or 10 messages,
yes,
first name, address. So what I have to do, I have to do intent.putExtra, and then I'll say address, comma, the address variable. Okay. 501, this is my address. Now, if I want to pass roll number, or mobile number, my roll number is this. And if I want to pass mobile number, what I'm doing, every time I need to pass, I'm calling the intent object, and on top of that, I'm passing my data. All right. The better way to do it is wrap this whole thing inside a apply. Something like this. In the intent object, once the intent object is created, I can say apply, and all these objects putExtra method applied to the intent object. So now I don't have to write intent dot rather than using apply. So what I did, I simply converted my code to this. So अब यहाँ पे क्या होगा, when you decompile the code, you will see intent.putExtra is already applied to all the putExtra method, because putExtra method is only called inside the on the intent object, right? You can see intent object contains putExtra method. We cannot directly call it. So we use apply method on the intent object. You can do it like this, or you can say intent, the intent object that we have created, dot apply. वैसे भी कर सकते हो, ऐसे भी कर सकते हो, no issue. So now here we are not repeating the intent keyword. That's it.
Okay.
Making our short code concise and short.
Okay.
And there is no difference.
Yes. And
Yeah,
sir, so
logically it's the same.
एक चीज जो इसका एक्सप्लिसिट का तो इतना ही था मेरा जो डाउट था. एक
Okay.
चीज जो बस इम्प्लिसिट में मुझे समझ नहीं आई was that कि when we do so like in intent, when we use it in implicit, we define the action and then we define the data, right?
Correct.
So sometimes we define it like intent.data. Sometimes we define like a different URI object and we pass that as data.
Correct.
Right. So
Both.
in data, we can only have URI object. We can have nothing else in the data field.
Okay. So in data, you can pass your data or URI. Both you can pass. There is no issue. And so previously, traditionally, we used to use set data differently and set URI differently.
Okay.
Now we have a method set data and URI.
Hmm.
So we can pass it in this way, or you can pass it inside the intent only. Intent, action, comma, URI.
URI.
So we have multiple ways of doing the same thing. So now you don't need to get confused. You need to find your way, what suits you best. So you follow that method. I have showed you multiple ways. So now, for example, if I want to create a button, so this is my button. On click, it should do something. Empty block. What should be the name of the button? Let's take an example of text web or web browser. It will open up a web browser. So now, when the button is clicked, what should happen? It should create an intent first. Intent.
Right.
Intent action is going to be, I need to pass action.
View.
Action is to view. So intent dot action is to view. Action view.
And then we'll put the URL.
Now I can pass the URL or I can use the intent object. So I'll say val web intent is equal to any name I can give. I'll give web intent. Now, if I want to do it this way, now web intent dot what I want to do?
Data. So
set
we'll put
data or set URI. So now we have this set data or get data, set type, get set data, right? So then type and data. Now we have this new method, data and type, both in the same place, where we can pass my data as a URI. So wherever you see data, you need to pass it the URI. Understood?
Right.
Data takes URI, type takes a string.
Okay.
Then here you will say type is the string, data is the URI. So now this data, if you want to pass some data, you say data is equals to, now you are supposed to pass a URI. So I'll say https google.com. But this is a string. What to do?
URI parts.
If you read, so now actual type data is expecting me to pass URI, but I passed string. URI is expected. So I'll just press Alt Enter. No, it is not giving me any suggestion. It is not giving me any suggestion. So you just type dot and to URI. We want to convert the string to URI. To URI. Okay. So we have this function which will convert the string to URI. This is one of the extension function in Kotlin.
Right.
Now, intent. We have successfully created our URI. Data is there. Action is there. What next? I need to simply start the activity. So I'll say start activity.
Context or start. Yes.
But context right now, do we need? Are we inside the main activity? Yeah. So we are outside the main activity. We are in the main screen, a composable function. We required context. So this context
Right.
dot start activity. Error is gone. Now I need to pass my web intent. And that's it. The error is here. Press Alt Enter. Replace with safe call. So if the value of context is not null, then only initialize or call the start activity.
Okay. And
So now
if
if I
we
run the
have
app
to,
again,
and if we like
yes.
have to use a specific application like we did in lab, like you did set package name, so that if like if we if
Not
that
needed.
is
Not
if that
needed.
is not needed. Okay.
Not needed. So if I am particular about that only this app should open up, for example, I know the package name of Google Chrome browser and
Right.
your default is Brave and I want
Mhm.
my website to be visible in Google Chrome browser. How can I force
Right.
user to, when the button is clicked, it should open up Google browser and no other browser? Then I will use
Okay.
set package. So
Okay.
just something
So
like
that
this.
is
Web intent
okay.
dot set package. This one. And now you can pass the package name of the Google browser or application
Okay.
identifier. Okay.
Yes.
So now if I click web browser, it should open up the app, Google browser. Okay. So whatever is the default app
Yes, sir.
installed, it will open up that.
Sir, in M1, what all part of this intent was coming? I don't really remember.
So in explicit intent, what all we implicit intent, na? What all we did?
Matlab, implicit, we
But
did all
is
the these maps, then we did
correct.
dialing, and then we did market button where we, open the
Play
Play
Store.
Store. Yes.
Yes. So all that will come,
And in
or one of
explicit,
that will come. Either one of that will come, or
okay,
multiple can come with combination of it or combination of know your number calculator.
okay,
So it will
okay,
come in combination.
okay. And you were saying in explicit only one way will come, so launcher and all will
Yes.
not come.
Yes.
Okay. Only context dot start with activity, that's
Yes.
all. Okay.
So I also wanted to confirm that we don't have drop down and date pickers, right?
Date picker, no. And drop down, no. We don't.
And search bar is going to be there.
Search bar is there. Search bar is just the edit text field, right?
Yes,
Whatever
yes.
we type, we just want
Yes,
to
sir.
filter it. Just few lines of code.
Yes, we just input the logic of filtering it.
Correct.
Right.
So that will be there.
Okay. And so
Yes. Hello.
I think she has some network issue.
Hello, Kusi. Are you there?
yes, sir. Oh, I got disconnected.
Fine.
In list view,
Yes.
we can directly use drawable, right? Like we can put images in drawable folder and then we can directly call them in the
Images,
code.
I'm not giving the images. The library we have not installed.
Acha.
So images we are not doing.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
what we can
No
do,
images.
mm,
So only
I will give
list,
you a list.
right?
Yeah, I will give you a list. You have to create a fake data. So I will give you a scenario to create fake data for example, name and roll number.
Hmm.
You have to
Okay.
create a class, data class, and then you have to create a fake list. list of, well, student list is equal to list of students. So you will enter your roll number, your name, your friend's roll number, your name, something like that. Data set is created. This data set you create, you get 2 marks. Then you will create a list logic. List logic you created, you get 2 marks. Then you create a search filter. Search filter you created, you get 2 marks. Designing component, arranging component, center, vertically, horizontally. So whatever is done, 2 marks. So that's 10 marks.
Okay,
Understood?
sir.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
if you want to see basic grocery list, what we have here, we have a grocery item, a data class, and below, just below this data class. So for example, if we ask uh, roll number and name, so you just have to create a new data list for roll number and name. For example, data class, I need to create for student. This shows your M1. So well, roll number, spring, comma, well, name. This is also spring. Something like this, you will create your data class, and then you have to create your list of, so well, student list is equal to list of. Now inside this list of, you need to create your student object. Student object. So let's say C001, comma, okay, one student, comma, second student. I'll just say control D. This is my second student. Control D, control D, control D. As many students you want to create, just last part से comma निकालना है, and that's it. Your student list is created. You can change the value. Fine.
Right.
And fine. Now this student list you need to iterate. So this is your main activity. Inside the main activity, we have grocery list. So you need to create a student list function, or you can directly create your list. Now we have lazy column. Lazy column को हमने full max width height दे दिया है. What will happen? It will consume the whole area. We don't have any enough space for search bar, and we want to add search bar. So we'll wrap this inside this lazy column. We will wrap inside the surround with widget, alt enter, surround with widget, surround with column. And inside the column, first we will add our outline text field. Outline text field. Okay. Now outline text field requires 2 mandatory parameters, which are
On value change and
yes,
value.
value and on value change. But I required state variable for the outline text field. So I need to first declare state variable where search by remember mutable state of, not list of, mutable state of empty. I need to import this state variable, set import getter value, import setter value. Now I can simply pass search, comma, on value change. When the values change, we should append each character inside the search variable. Search is created. Now in the preview section, we should be able to see outline text field. Now we want to keep this in the center of the screen. So what to do? 2 marks के लिए you have created this. You have created this. Now for another 2 marks, you have to center it. So center
Yes.
के लिए inside the column modifier or horizontal arrangement. Horizontally we want to center. So I'll say horizontal alignment, alignment dot center horizontally. So all the content of the screen will be centrally horizontally aligned, right? But now if I ask to give padding, you have to give padding. Now inside the lazy column, we are consuming the full max width. It is consuming the full area and leaving some space for the outline text field. So this is your column container. Now if you don't pass this value, the issue.
Oh, so it's not showing the whole screen.
Yes, it is showing the available area screen. So
Okay.
why we want to use full fill max size? Because we want to consume the whole mobile device screen. You can
Right.
use it here or you can use it here. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Control Z, full max size. The lazy column is consuming the whole available area after declaring the how can text we want to cover. In the lazy column we have items, grocery items, size, and then it will on the index, and one by one we'll iterate and inside this template we have leading content. So you don't have to give leading content. You don't have to give headline content. Whatever you want to give, like roll number and name. So I'll simply need to replace grocery list with something else. So I need to create this, but as soon as user is typing something, state variable will change. I need to create a filtered list. Well, filtered list is equal to student list. I want to display list of students. So student list dot what next? Filter. I want to filter this. Now the each item, which is it dot name, should contain what user is entered. User is entering search. Equal ignore case true. So I'll just simply pass true. So ignore case is true. It is case insensitive. Whatever user has entered should match or the name should contain that value. And we are creating our filtered list. Now we have to iterate our items against the filtered list. Filtered list. Now you can pass the count. So for this we are passing count, open bracket, and it will return you the index. Now you will create where item is equal to the item of filtered list. The filtered list index, first item, second item, and now you can simply use your list item template. This one. Now inside this we want a title, headline content. Headline content is going to be a text. Text must contain item dot student name. Okay, this is our first parameter. Then we'll say supporting content is going to be another function which is taking input from item dot roll number. Refresh. Now name and roll number is coming. Now if I say interactive mode, if I type HIM, this is going to be same. If I type something else, the list is gone. Okay.
Okay. Got it. So this is the search bar. Okay.
So you have to create search variable and filtered list. And rather than iterating the student list directly, we will first filter the student list and we will iterate filtered list. So every time user is typing something, for example, user has typed G, we are iterating all the 5 items and checking whether the name contains the search value your user has entered. If I type GD, again, the user is trying to check. We are trying to check the username contains the search value. Every time we can pass a new character. If I type F, not here, undo. If I type F, F, iteration is done. A, again iteration is done. H, again iteration is done. I, again iteration is done. Because I'm typing the same thing, iteration is done and it is returning in the same list.
Okay, sir.
Understood? So
Yes,
this is
sir.
what you are supposed to do.
Okay.
कितने लाइन का कोड है ये? 77 से 94. 14 lines.
Yes.
And then this. Fine. Any more doubts?
No, sir. No from my.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
So if you could just send this recording to us as well.
Yes. Will be automatically it will send.
Okay.
So